So give me the snapshot for why AltVia was founded.
So AltVia is all about unleashing the power of relationships and data for the private equity market. We've always served private equity. We have a very deep level of experience. Many of us have operated in private equity firms ourselves. And one thing that sort of was the genesis of the company was acknowledging technology hadn't quite met private equity firms and their processes at the time, and so we really built sort of a strategy of using technology as the mechanism for private equity firms to sort of tap into the power of what is a lot of their relationships, and ultimately the data that can come out of those relationships, those networks, and the sort of operational process within a private equity firm.
Yeah, the private equity industry is interesting in terms of relationship management. Companies they're investing in over here, they're kind of evaluating, and then you've got investors. So left and right, can you kind of describe the flow of those relationships? And
Sure. Yeah, so the kind of private equity value chain or supply chain, if you will, is made up of sort of three major components, right? So it is an institutional or a high net worth individual, primarily institutional investors. Those are sort of the sources of the capital. Those investors make investments and commitments to fund managers who ultimately diversify that money and invest it into all sorts of different assets. A lot of the ones we know kind of more about in the public are venture capital firms, the fund manager in the middle who invests in, high-profile startup companies, big ideas like a Facebook or what have you. ZynBit. Some of the other, types are investing in, oil exploration, but for the most part, the kind of supply chain is made up of private market investments outside of, the traditional stock and bond markets.
Awesome. How about the companies and evaluating those deals and how that tracking? What does that look like?
Yeah, so as you can imagine, there's no shortage of companies that are looking for investment from private equity fund managers. There's also no shortage of investors who are looking for the sort of outsourced or outsized returns that they can get from this asset class. And so, there's sort of for a private equity fund, there's sort of two components of management. One is managing your fundraising prospects, the investors from which you are raising money, and the other is managing sort of a pipeline of investment opportunities, startup companies, whatever it may be that we're investing in. It's really sort of a twofold process of managing, two pipelines, if you will, a pipeline of prospects who are going to commit capital to be invested, and a pipeline of opportunities that you will be investing in.
Right. To deploying the capital. What are the top two company values?
AltVia is very big on trust and transparency. Our sort of purpose for existing is for employees, for partners, and for the company to thrive. And so, trust and transparency is a huge part of our sort of purpose of being. We believe that, if this company is going to thrive, if our customers are going to thrive, if our partners are going to thrive, there has to be a big element of trust in those relationships, and there has to be transparency as well. And the two obviously go hand in hand, but for us it's very important to be transparent with our customers, with our partners, but also to operate at a level of trust. And our experience thus far has been great in that trust and transparency are great ways to make everybody in that equation thrive. And so I think that is sort of the probably our top value. I'd say that the second most important value is we over me, and we think about that as putting the company's good over our own. And so in certain situations, you'll find that the decision-making process is largely guided by one that actually makes people stop and think, what would be best for us in this situation, or based upon the decision that I'm making versus just thinking about myself.
Given the culture and the market and the product, what's the AltVia unfair advantage unique differentiator?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, AltVia excels at providing solutions, and so our approach is sort of a multi-pronged approach of providing products, but also providing services. And I think that the kind of unfair advantage that we have is our deep experience, not only in the market and as operators, at these same firms, but the ability for us to translate between how a private equity firm operates and to be able to translate that into technology. So we're technologists and we're experienced in the industry. And so I think that when you sort of bring all that together, we've got a portfolio of products, and we bring a level of experience and a level of service and support that if you talk to our customers is I think you hear the word unfair.
So along the one-word theme, what if you had to describe the company with one word, what would it be?
Thrive is a word that we use a lot internally at this company, and I think that it's probably the best way to sort of sum up what this company is about. I think that we want individuals who work here, the employees, to thrive. We want them to come to work every day and be energized and inspired by the work that we're doing, by the work that they're doing individually. We want our customers to thrive, and I think that all of the things that we do, the way in which we do them, I think that all of those things really sort of point to our desire for ourselves, but our desire for others as well to thrive. And so I think that the word is thrive.
What's the most exceptional feedback you've received from a customer?
A couple that stand out are a very large European private equity firm who literally tells us, kind of very fact of the matter that they could not run their operation without us, and so we're extremely lucky to be able to work with that particular customer. But you kind of let that sink in for a minute and understand that billions of dollars of kind of a global investment economy in this particular case couldn't exchange hands and couldn't be facilitated without us. And so I think that that's one that sticks out. I think that there's another one of our customers who quite literally takes our products and our solutions on the fundraising trail with them and sits down with their prospects and demonstrates our software and uses it sort of as a very tangible, this is what makes us different.